channel. We are the Princess and the Sith. My name is Jess.
I'm Nico, and today we're going to talk about two dessert parties in Disney World. We're going to talk about Hollywood Studios Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Dessert Party, and in Magic Kingdom, the Happily Ever After Fireworks Dessert Party, and we had the Garden Plaza Viewing, so that's the one we'll be discussing today. So first off is the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Dessert Party, which costs $79 for adults and $45 for kids. Of course, we pay the adult price because we are adults.
We are adults. We're adulting.
Sucks. Anyway, I thought everyone was a kid at Disney World, right?
I know. Why can't we pay kid prices? Even though we're in our 20s.
Whatever. Anyway, the first thing we're going to be talking about are the desserts at the dessert party. Star Wars dessert party. 0 plates. Let's dig in. So what do you think about them?
I thought they were really delicious. They kind of had, in the middle, like a set of smaller desserts, like cupcakes, Rice Krispie treats, and then they had two specialty desserts. One was bread pudding. You had the bread pudding. And I had, it was called freeze-dried Nutella. So they take a scoop of Nutella and put it in a liquid nitrogen, and it literally tastes like Nutella ice cream. And it was so delicious. I actually only got it because I overheard this guy next to us go, "That was the best thing I've ever had in my life." So I was like, oh, of course I need to try it now. If this random man thinks it's the best thing he's eaten in his life.
It was really good.
It was really delicious. I enjoyed it a lot. And all the cupcakes were really good. There was a Darth Vader one, which was like chocolate peanut butter. You had that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
There was a BB-8 one, which was a lemon cupcake with like chocolate rocks, and that was really delicious. But our favorite, like so surprising, so simple, was this vanilla R2-D2 cupcake.
Yeah, it had this like blue crunchy sugar on top. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the best desserts I've ever had.
I know. And it was so simple, too. We were so surprised. There were some savory things like fruits and like cheese, I think, and crackers. But we didn't really have any of that. We were here for the desserts. And there is alcohol at this one, and there's not at all of them. So just letting you guys know if that's a deal breaker for you guys.
Yeah, and just going back to the desserts for 1 second, the other specialty dessert that I had was the bread pudding, which is really good. It's not only offered at the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Dessert Party, but also elsewhere within the park, and I just thought it was delicious. It was the only place I had it, but they put the ice cream on top, and it all melts, and it's like this warm, gooey deliciousness. Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Overall, R2-D2, it was the best cupcake.
Get the R2-D2 cupcake.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very good.
I definitely highly rate the desserts, so like 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Overall.
And I heard that they're constantly switching out the desserts. Like I think even a few weeks after we went, they added things. So if you go again and again, you might not get the same desserts, which I think is a good thing.
Me too.
Good to try new things.
Especially if you're someone that likes to go back to Disney World over and over again, and you're gonna continually, pay into this. You have the right to have a different experience every time a little bit, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so they had the non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages, but we didn't really try those, so you're going to have to do your own research on those. We just have water.
I think we did, yeah.
Now, where it was pretty cool. It was at the Star Wars launch bay, which is pretty neat. While we were there was no seating. They only had tables that you could stand at, but I believe there's seats now, actually, that you could eat at.
Of course, after we go, there's seats.
I
think we
like
sat at like a low table on the floor.
No, I think we sat on the stairs when we were
there.
we
did sit on the stairs.
We sat on the stairs and ate.
Because we just needed to sit. After a long day in Hollywood Studios, we were like, we need to sit.
So for those of you that don't know, the launch bay is basically this area where it's like a Star Wars museum where they have different props and
a lot of artwork and stuff there.
Concept art.
It was really cool. And I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I actually really enjoyed going there and seeing all this stuff. And there's also 4 meet and greets that you could have there. They're available during the day, but they close off the launch bay, and just the people who paid for the dessert party get to go in there and do the meet and greets. So I think it was Chewbacca, Stormtroopers, BB-8, and Kylo Ren. So you get to meet all these characters on shortened lines, and I think they even spent more time with us than they would if you went during the day. Like Chewbacca specifically spent like a long time with you specifically.
I think it was like 5 minutes I was there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He was trolling me, but it was worth it. It was pretty funny.
BB-8 was interesting. It's like this little robot, and he kind of just looks and beeps at you.
Yeah, it's like talking to a beach ball. Not as fun.
But it was cute, and we got a lot of good pictures out
Kylo
of it.
Ren was pretty cool, too. He's very creepy. You get, like, a really tall guy and kind of just stands over you. Doesn't really talk much.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really fun, really immersive.
And the Stormtroopers are always great. You see them around the park, and they do a phenomenal job no matter where they
so
are.
funny.
And there's some extras other than the character meet and greets. You also get souvenirs while you're there.
Yeah.
So, for example, everyone that goes, you get this tag that says Star Wars Galactic.
That's the map of the launch bay. So you can see all the stuff you could do while you're there.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? You also get a souvenir mug as you leave the launch bay, and they escort you to the actual show location, which was nice.
Yeah, which was like they gathered all of us together, and the stormtroopers actually came out and escorted us, and they picked a kid to like walk with the stormtroopers, and if like I was so happy for him, he looked so excited.
Yeah, that's one thing this dessert party does really well. They make you feel like you're special when you're there.
They do.
Everyone at the launch bay treats you nice. You get escorted like royalty by the stormtroopers. So maybe we're part of the Empire, but you know, whatever. It's pretty cool. And
they gave us free water bottles.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice and I wasn't expecting.
Especially it was hot. The lady was like, it's hot. You guys are in the air conditioning. Make sure you grab a water bottle on your way to the show. Aww. It was pretty cool.
She was a nice lady.
Yeah. And then the show location was also very good.
Oh, it was perfect. You're right in front of the Chinese theater.
And you could all sit down. No one
stood up, which was nice. Because after a long day in Disney, you want to take that time to sit and decompress.
Absolutely. So you all get to sit down and watch the show.
So I'm not a Star Wars fan. Did I mention that? I don't
know.
I think I did. I'm not a Star Wars fan at all. This was kind of his pick and what he wanted to do. But we didn't know this, but before the Star Wars nighttime show, there's actually a show called the Disney Movie Magic. And we actually talked about it in our underrated Disney World experiences video, which I'll have links below. But it's basically kind of like a happily ever after-esque type show, except with the live action Disney movie. So that was really fun, and it was a nice surprise. We got all excited to see our favorite movies up on the screen. And I was like, oh, this is the show for me. Yeah. The non-Star Wars fan.
It was really cool. They have a little bit of Marvel in there. They have some of the princess movies. They have Tron. I thought it was neat.
He loves Tron.
Yeah.
He doesn't think Tron gets the appreciation it deserves.
It doesn't. Especially the new one. I liked it. Probably just me, but whatever. Then the actual Star Wars show itself, I thought was so cool.
If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to go crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like living within a Star Wars movie. It's like a 4D experience almost to me. The one thing I thought the show was lacking were fireworks. It could have been more fireworks.
There are more lasers.
So many lasers. Like, everything's coming at you. You just have to see it yourself. But the show was really cool. If you love Star Wars, you'll love the show. If you don't, you'll think it's just loud and annoying.
I thought it was nice. Because then they had, like, the good versus evil kind of thing.
That's Star Wars in a nutshell.
I like the first show.
Yeah.
But I could see it for a Star Wars fan. Even if you're not, if you're interested in these kind of spectacles, I think you'll enjoy it a lot.
I agree. Okay, next one.
All right, so on to the Magic Kingdom, Happily Ever After Fireworks Dessert Party, and we did the Garden Plaza Viewing one.
So the cost for adults on the Garden Plaza Viewing was $69, and for kids, it's $41. I believe when we went, though, we were lucky. It was $59 at the time, which is good. But, you know, it's Disney. The prices go up consistently all the time. Yeah. So, overall, first thing we'll talk about is the desserts. And they were kind of just meh.
It was left a lot to be desired.
Hello, my personal food diary. Right now, I am at Tomorrowland Terrace for the dessert party with the Garden Plaza Viewing. And Jess and I got the same exact plate by accident, which is pretty funny. This is a strawberry tart. This is like a cheesecake brownie thing. We got 3 macaroons. Not really sure what the flavors are, but we'll see. This is an Oreo with gray stuff, it seems like. And this one over here is a red velvet cupcake.
Like, kind of like the Star Wars one. Actually, not really. They had a lot of smaller desserts like specialty cupcakes, macaroons, chocolate-covered strawberries, and then I think they had ice cream. My best advice, all of those small desserts were just average.
Yeah,
they were really...
very mediocre. Like, there's mediocre, and then it was very mediocre.
They were
extremely very mediocre.
I would suggest just getting an ice cream sundae, to be honest with you. They had all like toppings and stuff. And
they have more savory stuff at this one too.
You tried those.
I tried. They had like these Chinese egg roll type of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were just okay too. I was just hungry, so I was eating them. But...
And there is no alcohol at this one. So like I said before, if that's a deal breaker for you, you're not going to find it here. They did have like sparkling cider. And
that
jungle juice?
Jungle juice stuff.
Yeah, it's like a guava orange juice. And they had a really good like strawberry lemonade too. But that was it. Yeah. Coffee and tea.
We went to the Star Wars dessert party the day before, right?
Yeah, literally the night before.
So going from the desserts and the drinks and the atmosphere there to going to this one, it was just kind of a letdown, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it really was. It was nothing special at all. Again, if we were to do it again, I would just get an ice cream sundae. I wouldn't even go for the desserts.
The location of the dessert party here was at the Tomorrowland Terrace, and...
It's not really, I mean, it's...
There aren't any extras. The people are, you know, nice Disney cast members.
Of course.
But they don't treat you as nicely as they did at the Star Wars Galactic
They didn't make you feel special. They were just kind of like, all right, here's your table. Which, actually, I think we did get a reserved table. Which was a benefit, though, unlike the Star Wars one where you kind of had to fight for a table. They did escort you to a table. They did put a reserved card on it. But they kind of...
You were able to sit down, too, which was good.
Yeah.
You know, at the Star Wars one, we had to stand up. But
I know.
Now they have seats at the Star Wars one. So
that's not an issue for you guys. But they were just kind of like, yeah, you could go up and get desserts, and whenever you want to walk to the show, just tell someone.
Yeah. Whereas another one, it kind of rounded you up, and you all walked together, and it's like pretty cool. But this one, after we had enough of Tomorrowland Terrace, we waited in line to be escorted.
Yeah, it was weird. And honestly, nobody knew what was going on. We kind of just...
We had to ask like 5 people.
We followed other confused people, too.
And we all walked as a confused group over to the person who was supposed to escort us.
And there was really nothing to do in the Tomorrowland Terrace besides have your desserts. Like, there was no characters, no, like, nothing to look at or anything. I mean, it was a good decompressing time, but... You know, I feel like if you have kids, they might get bored.
They might get very antsy.
Yeah.
There's only so much dessert you can let them have. Especially then they have a sugar rush, and now they're running around Tomorrowland Terrace, and there's no characters to yell at or anything like that. It could be a bit annoying.
Yeah,
and
so I can see that being an
issue. So it could be an issue.
Yeah, and we went out to the Plaza Garden pretty early, actually.
Now, with the Plaza Garden, when you're waiting, everyone's kind of just lying down.
You lied down.
Well, I also had like major issues because I eat too much, so I had to.
You had all the desserts, plus we just got Casey's hot dogs.
Yeah, I regret, you know, but whatever. It was good, and
it was very casual. Yeah, people were just lying down on the little grass. I fought for the prime viewing spot right in front of the gate.
Yeah, that's a tip. If you want a good spot for the show, walk right up to the front of the garden in front of the gate. And as soon as the show begins, you'll have like
you stand up here. And this one, everyone stands up. So just letting you guys know, if you are in the front, you can stand up. But if you're in the back and you want to sit, you're not going to see the show.
Yeah, and you better be tall because you're going to be looking over other people's shoulders, which kind of sucks. Yeah, it was nice.
What are you doing? Are you taking a video of me?
Maybe.
Why?
So for something to remember this. Look, there's the castle.
Today was the best day ever. Today was my favorite day of any day ever.
Yeah. So you have to be smart with this dessert party. Make sure you get there early, get a good spot, and you can really see what's going on. Otherwise, you're just not really be able to see what's going on. And I feel for the Magic Kingdom Happily Ever After show, a lot of it's visual. You need to be able to see the castle and see what's going on. Speaking
of the show itself, I thought the show was worth it, and it was worth it to get the prime viewing spot.
I agree.
I love Happily Ever After. My jaw was on the floor the entire time. I couldn't believe it. And just seeing all my favorite characters and hearing music that I loved, nothing beat it. It was the perfect ending to our trip for our day at Magic Kingdom. And I just thought it was worth the money to get that spot completely. Even though the party itself was kind of a dud, the show and that experience made it worth it.
Yeah, I think that's overall consensus. Don't expect much from the actual party aspect of it. But if you're going for that view, it's totally worth it, 100%.
100%. Especially if this is like your first, or maybe you're going to be your only time going, I would suggest.
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
And then there's also the Tomorrowland Terrace option. It's more expensive, but you stay at the Tomorrowland Terrace during the show. To be honest, I never even considered doing it just because you get an obstructed view. But you know what? If you want to sit and relax and just listen to the music and watch the fireworks, I'm sure it's worth it if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, different, rhythms for different people, or however that saying goes. But I don't really know what I'm talking about. Anyway, you kind of have to make that decision yourself. If you just want dessert and to look at like fireworks without, worrying about being on the floor, Tomorrowland Terrace is perfect for you. But if you want to sit or stand and actually watch the show, go with the Garden Plaza Viewing, or do the after party.
Oh yeah, and then there's an after party one where I think you go to the Plaza Garden and then your dessert party is after. It's like the same desserts though. So that's up to you guys completely. But overall, like we said, better show, I think. I think it appeals to more people than I think the Star Wars one. But the dessert party is meh itself. Alright guys, so that includes it for our Disney dessert party review for Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we were able to help with your Disney planning and gave you some good advice. Let us know in the comments if you're planning on going to one of these parties or have been, and please share your experience. We'd love to start a conversation.
Or if you have a question about our experience and want us to expand upon something, let us know as well.
Yeah, totally.
Alright, so I think that's all.
Alright guys, have a magical day, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more Disney content, and follow us on Instagram at The Princess and the Sith.
Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you. Bye.